هذا التسجيل هو عمل تطوعي مقدم من مبادرة بصيرة للأشخاص المكفوفين وضعاف البصر بالتعاون مع المجلس الأعلى لحقوق الأشخاص ذوي الإعاقة. Action Pack 9 9th grade students book. The reading part. Before you start, do you save some of the money your parents give you, or do you spend it all? How do you save it? What do you spend it on? First, read this story. Do you agree with what Mrs. Lynn did? Why or why not? Now, listen to these words and remember their meanings. We did them at the beginning of the unit. Miser, بخيل. banknote, عملة ورقية. penny, درهم. coffin, كفن الميت. to lead, أدارة. ceremony, احتفال. bank account, حساب بنكي. check, دفتر شيكات. Now I am going to start reading the text. The title is A Miser's Final Wish. Mr. Lynn was a really hard-working man. Every day he worked for 10 or 12 hours, and he slept for just a few. Mr. Lynn had only one purpose in mind: to make a lot of money and to spend as little of it as possible. He was a miser. As he did not trust in banks, Mr. Lynn kept all of the banknotes that he saved inside shoe boxes. Every night before going to sleep, Mr. Lynn sat and looked at his money. One night, he called his wife and said, "When I die, I want you to take all of my money and place it inside my coffin. I want to take all of my money with me, even the few pennies I have saved." Mrs. Lynn, who was a very good wife and loved him in spite of the miserly life he was leading, said, "I promise you that when you die, I will put all the money in the coffin with you." One day, Mr. Lynn died. Mrs. Lynn was sitting next to her closest friend during the ceremony. When the ceremony finished and before the coffin was closed, Mrs. Lynn said, "Wait just a minute." She had a large shoe box with her. She stood up, went to the coffin, and placed the shoe box inside it. Then the coffin was closed and buried. Her friend said, "I hope you weren't crazy enough to put all that money in the coffin." "I am a good wife," said Mrs. Lynn. "I promised him that I was going to put his money in the coffin with him, and I did it." "You mean to tell me you put every penny of his money in the coffin with him?" "Of course," said the wife. "I got it all together, put it into my bank account, and then wrote him a check. Part 3. After reading the story, answer the following questions. Question number 1. Do you agree with the statement to make a lot of money and to spend as little of it as possible? Why or why not? Question 2. Do you think Mr. Lin was wise enough to know how to use his money? Justify your answer. Part 4. Complete the sentences using one of the options. Sentence number 1. Mr. Lin wanted to have blank money. A lot of, B, a little, C, a few. Sentence number 2. Mr. Lin wanted to spend blank money as possible. A, as much, B, as little, C, a little. Sentence number 3. Mr. Lin also kept blank pennies inside the shoe boxes. A few, B, a little, C, many. Sentence number 4. Mrs. Lin didn't put blank banknotes inside the coffin. A lot of, B, a few, C, any. Grammar part. Quantity words and expressions. Part 1. Complete the table with the following words, then add more nouns to the table. We have 2 columns, one countable nouns and the other one uncountable nouns. I will give you the words and you need to fill them in the right column, either in the countable nouns column or in the uncountable nouns column. The words are miser, money, banknote, penny, check, gold. Now, one example is miser is countable nouns. Money is uncountable nouns. Part 2. Rewrite these sentences in your notebook using the words from the box. I will tell you the sentence and give you the options, and you need to fill in the right answer in the blank. Sentence number 1. The market was very crowded. There were blank of people in the market. There were any, or much, or a little, or a lot, or many. Sentence number 2. The poor man had no money. The poor man didn't have blank money. Didn't have any, or much, or a little, or a lot, or many. Sentence number 3. There were hundreds of delicious cooking smells. There were blank delicious cooking smells. There were any, or much, or a little, or a lot, or many. Sentence number 4. The poor man was hungry. He wanted a small amount of food. The poor man didn't want blank food. Didn't want any, or much, or a little, or a lot, or many. He only wanted blank food. He only wanted any, or much, or a little, or a lot, or many. Part 6. Complete these questions using how much or how many. Number 1. Blank TV programs a month. Between bracket, watch. Number 2. Blank chocolate each week. Between bracket, eat. Number 3. Blank to the theater each year. Between bracket, go. Number 4. Blank time reading the Holy Quran each week. Between bracket, spend. Number 5. Blank books a year. Between bracket, read. Number 6. Blank fresh juice every day. Between bracket, drink. I will do an example for you. How many do you watch TV programs a month? Part 7. Now, write your own questions using how much and how many. Use the following words to help you. I will tell you the words and you are going to form the questions using how much and how many. The words are carpets, curtains, films, friends, TV, pocket money, DVDs, chocolate, magazines, beds, water, flowers. Example: how much water do you drink every day? How many carpets are there in your bedroom? Part 8. In pairs, role play an interview asking and answering questions about possessions and lifestyles. Now, we are going to start something new. Skills focus. The title is Volunteer Save Lives. Before you start, look at the pictures. Who do you think the people are? What do you think the objects in the other pictures are used for? In the picture, you can see soldiers who are giving first aid. There is an aid box and an emergency preparation checklist. Now, listen to the words below in context. Try to guess their meanings. Aid, إسعاف. Ambulance, سيارة إسعاف. Disaster, مصيبة. Federation, اتحاد. Medic, طبي. neutrality. تعادل. suffering. يعاني. volunteer. متطوع. Now I will give you a definitions and you need to find the words. Definition number 1. A vehicle for carrying sick or injured people. Definition number 2. A sudden event that kills people or causes a lot of damage. Definition number 3. A type of soldier who gives first aid during battles. Reading strategies, predicting answers. You probably know something about the topic of this article before reading it. Think carefully about the questions in exercise 2. Even if you don't know the answer, try to guess what it might be. Will the answer be a country, date, number, or fact? If you have thought carefully about the questions in advance, finding the real answers becomes much easier. The reading part. Following the reading strategies, answer these questions before reading the article. Number 1. How did the Red Crescent get its name? Number 2. Why is the Red Crescent important to the International Federation? Number 3. What does the Red Crescent do to help people? Now, read the article and check your answers. The Red Crescent. In 1877, the Ottoman Empire went to war with Russia. The medics who took care of the wounded soldiers on the Russian side marked their ambulances with Red Cross. This was the symbol used by all countries to protect medics during battles. However, the cross reminded the Ottoman Empire of previous wars against soldiers carrying a similar flag. So the Ottoman officials used a red crescent to mark their ambulances instead. Sometime later, other Muslim countries accepted this symbol, and it was formally adopted in 1929. So far, 33 Islamic countries have recognized the Red Crescent. The Red Crescent Society is part of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. This is a huge organization that has 97 million members, volunteers, and supporters in 187 national societies. Red Crescent societies are important to the International Federation as they have developed guidelines that include non-Western traditions. Today, the Red Crescent is very important in responding to disasters such as earthquakes or fires, as well as providing aid to developing countries. A key principle of the organization when providing this aid is neutrality. Red Crescent volunteers work to prevent suffering for everyone, regardless of nationality, race, religion, or gender. What do these relative pronouns refer to? There are 3 pronouns highlighted in the text, and you need to find what do these relative pronouns refer to. Number 1, who, in line 1, I will read it for you. The medics who took care of the wounded soldiers on the Russian side marked their ambulances with Red Cross. Who refer to A. Soldiers, B. Ambulances, C. Medics. Number 2, the relative pronoun that in line 10. This is a huge organization that has 97 million members. That refer to members, or B. organization, or C. 97 million. Number 3, the relative pronoun that in line 12. Red Crescent societies are important to the International Federation as they have developed guidelines that include non-Western traditions. That refer to A. traditions, B. organization, C. guidelines. Part 5. Read the article again and answer the questions. Question number 1. What is the most important objective that the Red Crescent has which distinguishes it from other organizations? Question number 2. Name other organizations that you know of in Jordan which help people in need. What do they do? Question number 3. What qualities do you think one should have to volunteer with the Red Crescent? Now, the speaking part. Read the speaking strategies. Then think of a project to help the people in need in your city. It can be a poor neighborhood, children in hospital, or children in orphanages. For example, what do they need? What can you and your classmates do to help them? How can you convince your classmates to help them? The speaking strategies. Arguing persuasively. Make sure arguments simple and clear. If you can give facts and examples, think of relevant reasons to back up your arguments. Use expressions like because and the reason why. Be practical. What can you and your classmates do to help? If your ideas are too complicated, people won't feel able to help. Now, the writing part. Write down your arguments from the previous exercise and practice saying them. Use linking words for coherence. Communication workshop. Agreeing and disagreeing. Before you start, look at the posters. Have you ever donated any books, DVDs, or clothes? Who to? We have 3 posters. The first one is written on it. Give some of your CDs and change the world. with a CD picture on it. The second poster, give some of your books and change the word. There is a books on the poster. Third poster, give some of your clothes and change the world. There is a shirt picture on the poster. Now, you have to bring out the notes you wrote in the previous lesson. Practice your arguments again and think about how you might use the expressions from the box to respond to other groups' arguments. Then, present your arguments to the rest of the class. As you listen to other groups' arguments, think of 1 or 2 questions you would like to ask in order to find out more about their project. At the end, have a short debate about each project, then take part in a vote to decide which one to launch. Be prepared to give reasons for your choice. The language development part. Number 1, complete this dialogue with some or any or a lot or a little or much or many. Jamil said, do you know an institution called Takaful? Hakim answered, yes, I know blank about this organization. I know some or any or a lot or a little or much or many. Jamil said, can you give me blank information about it? Who works in it and what do they do? Can you give me some or any or a lot or a little or much or many? Hakim answered, so blank people joined the organization since its foundation in 2011. So some or any or a lot or a little or much or many. Its main purpose is to encourage unity and teamwork in society. Volunteers establish a culture and social bond to work together and help and support others. There are almost 15,000 volunteers helping out. Jamil said, thank you so blank, Hakim. Thank you so some or any or a lot or a little or much or many. I didn't have blank idea about this organization before. I didn't have some or any or a lot or a little or much or many. Hakim answered, blank help from friends is always useful. Some help or any help or a lot help or a little help or much help or many help. In pairs, ask and answer questions using how much, how many, a few, not many, not much, a little, or a lot of. Example, A. How many books do you read a month? B. Only a few, not many. Now, do the same with A. Books a month, between bracket read. B. Chocolate a week, between bracket eat. C. Pizzas a month, between bracket have. D. Money on petrol a month, between brackets spend. E. Time learning English a week, between brackets spend. F. Concerts a year, between bracket go to. G. Tea every day, between bracket drink. Now, the phrases in column B are clues that help you guess the word in column A. Can you guess all the words? The first letter of each word is given to you. I will give you the first letter of each word and I will give you the clue. And you have to guess the word. Number 1. The word starts with a C and the clues are a piece of paper relating to money. Number 2. The word starts with an M. The clues are a soldier in battle, first aid. Number 3. The word starts with an A. The clues are relating to hospital, a kind of vehicle. Number 4. The word starts with an E. The clues are relating to money, another word for to receive. Number 5. The word starts with a V. The clues are a person and relating to helping without being paid.